Welcome everybody on the third quarter earnings call for CI Games. My name is Marek Tymiński. I'm the CEO and founder of the company. And together with me, there's Katarzyna Sermanowicz, who is our financial director.
Good morning.
Hello. I would like to ask you to, if you have any questions for the Q&A that will be just after the presentation, to already start sending your questions, and we will be answering selected questions after the presentation. Today, this is an update after Q3, and I will try to highlight what's really important over that presentation, but I will try to get to Q&A session sooner than later. So CI Games, we are 20 years in business. We have our own 3 IPs. We sold more than 16 million copies of games in 2 franchises with 5 locations and currently almost 160 people with roughly average 14 years of experience in the management team. So this is a very important slide. Those are the investment highlights. We have been having, for the last quarters, outstanding financial performance with 82 million Polish zloty revenue in the first 9 months, very high EBITDA and high net profit margin. We have distributed development and marketing, and this is pretty much our key competitive advantage. We have started to hire people outside of Poland. Several years ago, we have been having our US office since 2008, but COVID really accelerated that. And I can say today, we really internationalized our company, our business, with a slight majority of people right now working from different European locations, and more than around 45% of our staff being located in Poland. We have achieved significant quality and efficiency improvement and that's very visible already with Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 1 that we released late 2019, but it's even more visible over the last 3 games released this year. So obviously Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, and then Elder Souls and Tales of Iron. All of them received high user score, strong Metacritic, and brought a very good level of sales, considering each individual game size and scope. Diversified business on 4 pillars. That was very important for us, and we were striving, and it's very much in line with our strategy, to have the business being driven on 4 pillars, like 4 legs for the business, which are now obviously, Lords of the Fallen franchise, Sniper Ghost Warrior franchise, the new IP on the survival genre, and United Label. We will be adding more pillars in the next years to that, to further diversify our business and opportunity to further grow the company. So, most probably of you know, we are a globally recognized developer and publisher. And as I said before, especially this year, brought again the quality higher of all our releases. We are among RPG and FPS genre, with the Survive coming as the 3rd IP, working together with the Czech Republic developer. Strong financial performance. I mean, as I said before, it's so far it's a record 3 quarters that the company had ever had, and we will continue with a strong performance for the next quarter and the years coming, with 2023 being seems to be, it looks very, very strong year, having 2 major releases happening. A bit more about the financial performance later. Katarzyna will explain the numbers for the Q3 and for the 9 months. We will be continued development of our existing IPs. That's obviously Lords of the Fallen 2, currently being in a full production with the content complete milestone being in April 2022, and the marketing campaign starting Q1, Q2 next year. I'm really happy and proud of how well the development of that game is progressing. And while we're working on Lords of the Fallen 2, that is our largest project we currently having, we already obviously started to work on Sniper Ghost Warrior next, and a little bit more about that in the next slides. Very important part of our strategy is the multiplayer component to be part of every major release. And obviously we will be adjusting and will be designing the multiplayer component dependable on a particular genre, particular franchise. But this is important to grow our audience. We know the audience expects that, and we deliver a meaningful multiplayer experience. So it's not just additional extra mode we had in the past, but it's a meaningful additional experience over the multiplayer. We absolutely count on expanding the audience of each franchise. And I think it's worth to mention we further internationalized our team. Sam Sadecki joined the company recently. A bit more about the team later, but we are absolutely different company than we were, say, 2 years ago. Much more internationalized, with the executive team being spread among Europe with the key locations. And I think that is a very strong foundation for the company to make a major step forward in the next years, releasing bigger products, having much bigger commercial success, and obviously, you know, that will translate to much stronger financial performance. Portfolio update. I mean, back catalog for the first 9 months. Obviously, you see Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 having 66% of the revenue, was Tales and Elder Souls having 4 and 3. But as I said, back catalog performance of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 1, it's 16%, and the previous installment 6% of the revenue. And even Lords of the Fallen was released in 2014. It's still having 2% of the revenue. So we still see some meaningful sales, obviously on a smaller size, coming from our older releases. So this is our estimate when we plan to launch each project. So the release schedule looks with Lords of the Fallen 2 being 2023, the next Sniper Ghost Warrior 2023, and Survive project being latest 2024. So obviously, most of you are aware of our pretty much most recognized franchise from the sales standpoint, Sniper Ghost Warrior. It's already over 13 million units sold worldwide. Having a great success of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, and obviously third quarter was still further great performance of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, and that translated to those strong numbers. At the same time, from June 2021, Warsaw development team is in full production on the next Sniper Ghost Warrior. However, the creative design work and basically bringing the vision for the project and what the project is, and some work on moving systems from CryEngine to Unreal, as this is our new technology, that all started even before mid of last year, mid of 2020. So we are making a very good progress with that project, and we're happy from how it progresses so far in being in a full production since June. Lords of the Fallen 2, as I said before, we are having the key milestone that is a content complete for April 2022, and we absolutely looking to bring a very meaningful, very strong, high quality, full price release with Lords of the Fallen 2, and we will start the marketing campaign in Q1, Q2 next year, 2022, and we are preparing a very strong start of the campaign for that franchise. So we absolutely want to get on the radars, global radars, with the initial marketing beats for that game. Third own IP, that is the Survive project. We recently announced we signed a developer in Czech Republic who is working now on that project. Obviously, we have a strong team on our end that is composed from some of our key people, including creative directors, art directors, EPs of other projects, overseeing the high-level development of that game. And then obviously we had dedicated people internally on a position of senior producer overseeing day-to-day development of that game with that partner. We selected that developer among, I think we had around 11, 12 pitches from different developers from Eastern Europe and outside of Eastern Europe, from South of Europe as well. We decided to sign that developer because of their previous experiences in a similar genre, and obviously some of our key people used to work with that developer previously. That is always limiting the risk of signing the new developer, and so far really so good. I mean, it's early, it's just a month and a half, but it seems that everything progresses really well on that front as well. United Label, it's our indie brand. These are smaller games developed by indie developers. We have released 3 titles so far: Rocky last year, Eldest Souls, and Tales this year. All of them did very, very well from the user score standpoint, and also very well from the Metacritic standpoint. All of those 3 games are high quality products. In fact, all of those games being developed by studios in the UK. All of them are or will be soon profitable, and all of them we be very happy to have in our portfolio, and we will be expanding further with several DLC plan and several support to build those franchises. And I think it's very clear for us, when we see projects being successful, we absolutely want to expand and invest into those brands to build those brands further. And this will happen in respect to our future releases from United Label. So the team, it's expanded, and as I said previously, we are a different company now than we were 2-3 years ago. That's our executive team, with Darren being the CEO for United Label and at the same time business development director. Saul being running Lords of the Fallen team, Hexworks, but he's also helping on other projects. Very experienced manager on that role. Tobias running Sniper Ghost Warrior team, with Kenton, who is the creative director on Sniper Ghost Warrior. Cesar is the creative director on Lords of the Fallen. A team, pretty much we started Hexworks together with Saul and Cesar late 2019, early 2020, and we'll show you how we progress in terms of building the team. Sam Sadecki recently joined from Sega. He is the head of commercial for the whole group. So sales across physical and obviously digital globally. Ryan is the marketing director, and Ryan is again pretty new to the company. He started to work for us January 2021, but he has been responsible for all the 3 marketing campaigns of the 3 games we launched this year, and went very well. So great improvement on marketing on our side. Reese is the technical director. He is working on both Lords of the Fallen and Sniper Ghost Warrior with massive experience on the tech side. Monica has been with CI Games for many years. She is responsible for HR and admin part of the business. She's also on the formal board of management for CI Games SA. Katarzyna has been with the company also for several years. She has a position of financial director. So great work. I mean, it's been a pretty busy weekend for us to be able to come up with the quarters report today morning, but I think we did very well. And Lenka, she is responsible for investor relations in Poland and also abroad. As we said, we send very clear communication, very clear message to investors. We're absolutely looking to expand for the international investors, and we do that through the analyst reports. I think we got some great analyst reports in terms of the detailed analyst and content about the business and comparison. And we're moving forward with the road shows and further activities among international investors, but Polish as well. So this is our internationally distributed team with the key people in each country. So we do not work, I mean, the geographic location doesn't really mean anything to the structure. So people work together across different locations. And it happened to be that a lot of key guys in marketing, commercial, business development are in the UK. But obviously they work from different physical locations. They don't work from the same location. It's mostly remote work. We have US team mostly responsible for North and South America publishing, distribution business, and Poland obviously with our finance, admin, back office, and the team responsible for Sniper Ghost Warrior franchise. Spain is predominantly with Hexworks, Lords of the Fallen too, but also is involved on United Label side. And France is, we have our art and creative directors for both of the projects. And obviously we have many more locations, but those are the key locations where we have our key people. A lot of those people from those locations are part of the executive management team for CI Games Group. So this is a base split on each project and how many people working from each location. So it's a very good summary. Hexworks, we have right now 62 people, 34 people working from Spain, 11 from Romania, 6 from the UK, 3 from France, and 8 rest of the world. And those are pure developers, right? So that's management in the development, directors in the development, and basically senior developers working in the team. And very important to say, Hexworks is not having internal asset art production, right? So we outsource a lot of asset, environmental, it's the direction, the art direction, creative direction, and the management of partners internally. But at 62 people are focused on what are the core competences for the team, for the project, and we do not do that asset production. And right now we are roughly 55 to 60 more people full-time working with our outsourcing partners on Lords of the Fallen 2. Sniper Ghost Warrior team is right now 47, and most of the people are absolutely in Poland, and we are expanding the team in Poland, recruiting more people to Poland. We have some people in the UK, some in Spain, and some in rest of the world. And we will also see a bit more people joining from outside of Poland. So the proportions may go a bit towards international part of the team gradually over the next years. And Survivor project is obviously the developer is in Czech Republic, but we have key people from the UK, Spain, France, also working and overseeing from the management standpoint, from the high level concept, creative pitch, creative design standpoint from internal teams of CI Games. And United Label, I mean, the company, if you look into, it's a small company in terms of the amount of people, but the reality is that on United Label, there's a huge support from CI Games side, and the teams from different departments are involved in making those games out and making those games commercially successful. So that's marketing, that's commercial part, that's also internal QA. That's a lot happening that where CI Games is helping United Label to bring products up to the market and make them commercially successful. So that's our sales and marketing structure. So in terms of marketing, we have 5 people in the UK and 3 people out of Poland. Sales is UK, US, and 2 people in Poland. Sales is driven from the UK by Sam, and marketing is driven from the UK by Ryan. Those teams are larger in terms of people than they were in the past, and I think that's, you can also see a major step forward, a major uplift of quality for our marketing and sales efforts across the board. That's the split between how we have, where we have basically that 150 plus people working. So we have 125 people in the development. That obviously includes the QA. We have, at the end of September, we had 16 people in the quality assurance, 12 in sales and marketing, and 19 finance and admin. So those are the numbers for Q3. We're very happy from being able to bring such a sales and great margin on that sales. So almost 33 million Polish zloty revenue, 19 million EBITDA, and 13.5 net profit. Very, very good numbers. And I mean, they all been possible because of a strong performance of Sniper and Ghost War contracts too, with support of the new releases from United Label and obvious support from the back catalog. This is the 9 months financial highlights. So 82 million Polish zloty and 49 almost EBITDA, with net profit over 27. Katarzyna, I give the voice to you, please, if you can explain a bit more on the numbers.
Yes, thank you. So as we already presented, we generated almost 33 million in the third quarter. It's quite a good result, also taking into account that it was a summer period that usually the sales is a little bit lower. Around 67% was generated by sales of contracts too. Around 17% was contributed by the new releases from United Label portfolio. You can notice that our EBIT operating profit margin increased by nicely comparing to the previous period. It was partially attributable to the fact that in the second quarter we incurred majority of marketing sales, while in the third quarter the selling cost declined by a few million, which positively contributed to the profitability in percentage terms. Also, it's important to add that in September it was the last month when we amortized contracts 1. So it means that from October we will not have amortization of this game. So it should have positive impact on the overall profitability of our business. In terms of the net profit, we also see huge, you can see improvement from 27% to almost 32%. To summarize, it's of course good sales, decline in the selling cost, but also we need to add that depreciation of Polish currency also help us, because we generated on the finance income line, you may notice around 2 million of positive impact of the foreign exchange gains. So let's move to the summary of the balance sheet. The first item, you can see that there is almost it's over 42 million of cash, which is increase of over around 22 million. It means that our receivables converted into cash. Also taking into account that we invested around 14 million in the development of the new project. So we think that's the good results. Overall, consequently of the good results, our total assets and own equity increased. On the debt side, we don't have any loans or credit. This item presents our long-term lease of the office in Warsaw. Let's move to the cash flow. You can see that very nice number which relates to cash flow from operating activity. It means that our results are not only on the paper, but they converted into cash. And on the investment side, we almost spent 15 million, wherein around 13 million is exclusively related to development of Lords 2 and next installment of Sniper game. So total net cash flow in the third quarter was 22 million. On the next slide, we present overall comparison summary of our financial result. Also, we added summary of analyst estimates of the forecast for this and the next 2 years. If you compare estimation for this year versus our results for the 9 months, you may conclude that this result should be easily, I would say, achievable by the group.
Thank you, Katarzyna. I think it's important to mention, if we can just go back, I think it's important to mention that.
Oops.
Just a second.
Too many people operating.
We have a technical problem with the presentation. Let me do it. Okay, I think coming back to that slide, I think, like Katarzyna said, but this slide is very important to show how much we improved, how drastically we improved our financial performance over the last several years. And obviously 2021 is not finished, but as Katarzyna said, you can easily imagine that we think those numbers are very achievable for 2021. We think that 2022, those numbers that are coming from the consensus of analysts are, yes, they are achievable, and we will be looking potentially to beat the forecast for 2022. If we're looking at 2023, we absolutely think that those numbers are achievable, and we'll also do our best to beat those numbers. So I think it's just, as we speak, with internally, and also we speak to our partners, I think that basically we have the situation of the old CI games and the new CI games. After we made those changes, we internationalized our teams, internationalized our management team. And this is the first year of showing how much we improve our financial performance. However, we still think that 2020 was also a good improvement. Their numbers in the next months, not necessarily in Q4. We have several events with investors. So Red Eye Gaming Day is this Friday, November 26th. We'll be also having part in that event. There is another event in Poland, December 1st, and then there's another event early January. So we'll absolutely be keeping communication, open communication with investors. And and further ahead, obviously, we will be continue working on our main franchises development-wise, and in the next months, we'll start a campaign for Lords of the Fallen 2. Thank you very much in terms of the presentation part. That's it, what we had for today. And I see questions coming from the group. We'll do our best to answer as many of those questions. There was a question about whether Lords of the Fallen 2 will have the multiplayer. As we said, every our major release will have the multiplayer component, and that means Lords of the Fallen will be also having a multiplayer feature designed for that particular game. The new projects from Battlefields, when we will get some more information. We only say, and when the release will happen, we are saying the release will happen latest in 2024, and we cannot say anything more about that. The marketing, it's too early to give any concrete date. As soon as we will be more certain about when we start the campaign for this project, we will communicate that to the investors. So the campaign for Lords 2 starting in Q1, Q2, when the company will present first screenshots, information, gameplay. We will present that very, very soon after we start the campaign. So when we start the campaign, and this is like we always planning now, we don't want to have longer than 1 year marketing campaign. We think it's not very efficient to make it longer. So when we start the campaign, it also means that there is a very advanced stage that the game is. And when we start the campaign very soon, we will be having part of the campaign related to gameplay. So just video, not just screenshots, video and just gameplay. Yeah? I mean, this is part of that. Not necessarily we'll start with the gameplay, but it will follow very soon. So what are the budgets for Lords of the Fallen 2 and Sniper Ghost Warrior Next? We do not really say the exact budgets. We said in the report, in the presentation, that so far we have spent around 51 million Polish zloty, mostly on those two projects. Question about how many units we want to sell for the next two games. We do not really publish forecasts in terms of how many units we will sell. I don't think it's and it's not really a standard in that industry. However, we think that it's worth to look into some of the scenarios that are brought by the analysts, especially Edison and Redeye. They indicated different scenarios, and they indicated what they think would most probably happen in terms of the sales for those games. So we advise investors to look into those reports. What is the objective of strategic options review? What outcome do you expect? We are absolutely in the process. We started the process, as far as I remember, end of August. So just recently, and we will not be able to speak anything further before it's kind of like very clear and pretty much agreed and the decision is made. So we are in the process. We can assure everybody, and it's been quite some work already done in that process, but we cannot say anything more. Do you plan to make a capital increase for further games? No, we do not plan capital increase. We have a strong cash position, and it was very clear, especially coming from Q3, and we further improve it. So we do not plan it, and in case we will need some more funds, whatever the reason is, then I think we do not have any loans, anything like that. So I think we absolutely, with those kind of numbers, we're absolutely comfortable with financing from banks if we need that, right? It could be short-term financing. We absolutely be looking at first to that. So we do not plan capital increase. How is the external studio finance? So the external studio finance, if this is about the Survive project, we finance that studio. So that's on us. We are financing that project 100%. what are your plans for the development of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contract brand? So we do not really say anything more about that particular franchise. I mean, the Sniper Ghost Warrior Next is important project, and that's the next project for us. The scope of the project is a bit bigger than the last two games, but not necessarily much bigger. It's just a bit bigger, and we think that we can have a very good performance of the next Sniper Ghost Warrior, but it's not a massive AAA game at all. No, I mean we are absolutely. Scope wise, it's bigger, but it's still within the same level of what the last two games were. How big is the team in United Label? Is it involved in the development of the Fallen 2? The team of United Label, working directly for United Label, is a small team. It's 2-3 people right now. But as I said during the presentation, the whole marketing, commercial, and QA and production team, part of the production team from CI Games, is helping United Label and working, behind those releases So I mean, I think United Label has that potential big team when it's needed to support and to drive the releases. How Tales of Iron didn't break even yet. When do we expect the communication about break even? Tales of Iron, as far as I know, has not yet broken even, but I think it's not that far to get to the break-even point. That's the largest development project for United Label. Development budget was several times bigger than Elder Scrolls. We are absolutely happy from the sales of Tales of Iron. I think it's an absolutely commercially successful release, and we absolutely are certain that this project will have relatively high return on investment. It's just not a project that is like 100 or 200,000 euro development budget that you can make a break even in a couple of days. It's just a bigger budget. So we're absolutely happy from the sales. It's absolutely the success. It's 100% successful launch. How many games United Label plan to release? We're working on bringing more products to the portfolio. Hopefully soon we will be able to make further announcements on the next game. So we always said 2, 3, 4 games in each year, and we'll try to do our best to deliver upon that and build franchises, build brands from those who are commercially successful. It's a competitive environment, and it's not about the amount. It's really about the projects and the quality and how big the market for each project can be, and making right decisions and deciding on the right titles is the priority. We'll skip the questions on United Label. I think that's pretty much it from. Yeah, there's a new question about paying the dividends. So we do not really have yet the answer on that. That is possible. That is possible, but I think it's the earliest happening in 2024, not before 2024. Yeah, I think that we have covered pretty much most of the questions. The other questions are asking pretty much of what was already answered. I want to thank you, everybody, for the participation in our earnings call for the Q3. And I look forward to seeing you after our annual results and on annual earnings call. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.